Welcome back to Nikki's Scrapbooking Adventures. Today is my John Henry's 3rd birthday. And so to honor him, we're going to do two things. We're going to go through his baby book, which is an 8x8, and the reason why I started loving 8x8 albums. And then we're also going to give away this Hello Baby It's a Boy collection. So stay tuned for the contest question. You'll have to answer it below. And the winner will be announced at the end of the month. So we're going to flip through here. And I will warn you before we get kind of to the sad parts. Just so if you don't want to continue watching, that is okay. But we're going to start with happy stuff. So, yay! We're parents! We found out July 30th, and I surprised Joe with this Daddy is my Goku little thing. And if you know anything about Dragon Ball Z, I was wearing blue for Chi-Chi, and Joe was wearing his Dragon Ball Z t-shirt. And that is the first glimpse of baby Ayus. At this time, we hadn't kind of figured out the name yet. And then we surprised everybody that we were pregnant after the 12 weeks on March 25th via Facebook. And my brother-in-law put this all together for us, which I think was really cute. And then we found out that he was a boy on May 28th and actually decided his name at this time. My family didn't know, but we knew between two names, either John Henry or JJ, or Joseph James, excuse me. So John Henry was our first pick, and that was for my grandpa who I lived with and his father, to honor both of those very strong men. And then we get into the 3rd trimester, and we find out that John Henry has CDH. And so it just kind of talks about this. Notice there's not a whole bunch of journaling, but if I were to slip this out, you'll be able to flip through all of those photos. In addition, if I go in between these two pages, I've got a whole bunch of extra photos here that we can take a look at. So that's kind of how I came up with a solution to house extra photos in a smaller album, is I just decided to tuck them in between the pages. So not every page has, like this one doesn't have anything tucked in it because there's not really much to say. And then we talk about the journey of CDH. So I need to redo this page because it's on construction paper, and you can kind of see how the sun has hit that paper. It's discolored it. For right now, I'm focusing in on the other album. So I'm just going to leave this for now. This is actually the notes from the meeting with Dr. Kays, and I've talked a little bit about who he is. And that's actually the notes. I ripped him out of the notebook on that day. And then we get to Florida, and John Henry and I go to our first baseball game together, which I thought was a lot of fun. And Austin Meadows was the gentleman who came and took his picture with us at the Ronald McDonald House. Now, from here on, you're going to see some medical images. So if you do not want to see them, don't look. Okay? You can stop at this point, and you can go ahead and answer the question, what is your favorite baby line? It doesn't have to be Echo Park. Hello Baby Boy, Hello It's a Boy by Echo Park is my favorite, but what's your favorite baby line? So go ahead and answer that question below for a chance to win this collection pack. It's never been opened. Fresh mint condition. And we will move on. So if you do not want to see medical images, do not go past this point. Okay, here's Mr. John Henry. Oh my goodness. This is the problem with a lot of J's in my family. There's Mr. John Henry. He weighed 6 pounds, 15 ounces, and he was a C-section and was put on ECMO within 20 minutes of life, which is crazy. So then we really talk and dig into John Henry's story. So step by step, this I had imagined this spread being ECMO, off ECMO, CPAP, and then going home. But clearly we didn't make it home. So this is actually John Henry's last day of life. But he still had a journey. We still went step by step, and we continue through that. Here is actually kind of cool statistics. So he was on ECMO, which is heart-lung bypass, originally for 27 days, but ended up being 59 days. He was intubated 6 times, and my goal for this one was how many times he was on CPAP. Well, he only got to a low of 4. If you were to go to wall oxygen, you had to be on a low of 3 or 2, so he was close. We just couldn't get there. Another cool thing that I did kind of illegally, was I actually took pictures of his x-ray with my phone. So this x-ray, you can see almost 0 blackness. That means his lungs were collapsed. There was literally no air. And as it progressed, you can see birth, ECMO, his lung was open. Intubation, his lung kind of got cloudy. Right about here is when John Henry started to go downhill, unfortunately. But we didn't know that at that time. Okay, so then here is surgery. He had 2 surgeries. The first surgery was to seal the hole in his diaphragm, and this is actually the patch that was used. And again, I need to switch this paper because this is on construction paper. But you can see how big that hole was. For a 6-pound baby, the palm of my hand is the size of the hole. And I've got a picture here of the hole. Anyway, the next page talks about both of the second surgery that he went through, which is December 2nd. He had a Nissen and G-tube. So the Nissen seals the stomach so that you can't burp or throw up or have your acid reflux. The second surgery, same day, same time, he had a G-tube placed. So what that is it is a little tube that goes through the outer wall and into your stomach so that you can be fed this way instead of through the mouth. And then we get into some baby snuggles. So first held him on these 2 days, my time and then Joe's time. And then we had Halloween. I had created this page before I had met John Henry, so the orientation is messed up. I'm gonna have to redo a lot of these pages because this is not acid-free paper. So I just haven't done that yet. Again, another cool thing is I have put in between extra photos. So we've got a lot of extra photos here. Okay. My mom and me and John Henry, all that fun stuff. And then you get into November and December. And then we found out that John Henry had a collapsible trachea. It's tracheomalacia is what it's called, where when he gets mad, his trachea collapses. So these are 2 pictures. And we thought that was contributing to his downward kind of spiral. And then we get Christmas, which is fun. John Henry and I spent Christmas alone, which is absolutely okay. My mom ended up having to go back home, and my husband had to work over Christmas. But we got to spend that time together, and he was extubated at that time, which was even more special. And then I got to talk about all the medical machines. This is ECMO. This is like the vent for intubation and CPAP. You've got where all of his medications and pumps are pumped into his PICC line. The TCOM measures some oxygenation. You've got a breast milk pump that pumps the food into his G-tube. And then you've got nitric. Nitric is kind of the last step in order to try to expand the lungs. Past this page, it gets even worse. So if you need to pause this video or not continue, please not continue. Okay. Next page is just talking about finding the right path. See, you can do a little bit extra stuff for 8x8 layouts that you normally wouldn't do on a 12x12. I really like this format. And the title is Finding the Right Path. Okay. Next spread is January and February. February is the hardest month of my life. We were transferred to Orlando to have his ASD repaired. And we found out that he had seizures later because of that transition. So, we still talk about Orlando and the ASD. The goal of this album was really to give it to John Henry later in his life so that he can kind of see what his journey was like. So I made sure to include some of the medical things that he went through on here. So this is still him in Orlando. Okay. And then these are March. So this is the last month of his life. We had the CARE conference on March 3rd of 2020 and decided a couple days after that we would stop John Henry's care. So the next several pages just talks about all of my friends in Florida and all the other moms and those things like that. And then March 10th was when I sang Snuggle Puppy to my husband and John Henry to music. The music therapists were awesome. I worked with them when we recorded it. It was really cute. Okay, this was our last day together. And you can see we were wearing the shirts that I made for us. John Henry, at this point, is just not even recognizing us. Even though it looks like he is looking my way, he's not. He has no idea what's going on. And this is the project that we worked on in this picture, which I think is super cute. Okay. I had a photographer come in and take our family photos. More photos. So we did a haircut, we weighed him, we measured him, and those are all the stats that we had together. And I'm not going to share the next page right here. I love this sweet little moment of my boys. Next two pages are too personal, so I'm going to go ahead and skip those. But I will share this one. This one's actually one of my favorite pages. It's the Many Faces of John Henry, and I'm really excited to do one of these for JJ as well. I think this is super cute to kind of show a baby's personality. It is hard to encompass everything, but I just thought this was super fun. And then the last two pages are later. Okay. So September 19th, 2020 was John Henry's first birthday. And so we talked about how I found out that I was pregnant, so I couldn't get a tattoo, but my husband did, and that was his tattoo, or that is his tattoo. And the final page is actually love notes that we wrote to John Henry on his year anniversary of his angelversary. So Joe and I both wrote letters, and I just made a pocket for both of those so that we can look back at it later, maybe even add some letters later. Haven't quite decided yet on what we're going to do. My plan is to still get a tattoo, but I haven't quite figured out what I want to get. Tattoos are permanent, and that scares me, and I'm also terrified of needles. So there's a lot thinking that needs to go in to me getting a tattoo. But now you can see why I love 8x8 albums. They are a lot of fun. I mean, this sucker is chunky, but you get a lot of photos. Well, you don't really get a whole bunch of photos. And so that is also why it makes it unique, so that you can fit some smaller stories on the page. So Don't forget to tell me your favorite baby collection in order to win this. I will announce the winner at the end of September, so look out for that. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.